again, welcome to our third Friday presentation here at the SBA. Burley Law comes out to Fresno every third Friday of each month, and we have these presentations, and you can sign up for one-on-one consultations with us in person, online, hit me up through our Instagram or Facebook at New Business Community Law Clinic. The following is just an informational. Jason, am I too low?
Yeah.
I wanted to double check if you thought I was low. I don't have a loud voice, so if I do get lower, just ping me and I'll go higher. The following information is just legal explanations and stuff general about the law. Of course, we try to keep it up to date, and it should be, but if you have any specific questions about your business, you should meet with us one-on-one, because this does not substitute for working with a lawyer one-on-one, but we are available to you to do it. The following presentation is going to cover things like the FTC guidelines, copyright, and DMCA is covered bigger in other intellectual property presentations that we have, but we'll go over that, and contests, giveaways, and lotteries. It gets pretty sticky there. Sometimes nonprofits have more leeway when it comes to lotteries, but they need to get that cleared up beforehand. We'll see that. And right here, I'm not sure if we can play this. Anyone knows about the Fire Festival? Jace, can this hit play?
You have to do it now.
All right, so since we're talking about advertising and marketing, I think it's only fair to bring up the Fire Festival. And here's a quick little YouTube video on it. It's just one of the commercials that they had leading up to the festival, and it might not play. Okay, so it's not playing. But anyway, the Fire Festival was supposed to be this big music concert going on in Exuma or something. And they had a whole bunch of acts, and of course they had a whole bunch of Instagram influencers showing what it was going to be, and having people pay thousands of dollars to go over there to have personal flights to go to this island that was supposedly once owned by
Pablo Escobar.
Pablo Escobar, yes, thank you. And it wasn't. This was all a lie, and they thought that they would have it ready in time. Ja Rule and another millennial dreamer was a part of this. And they put in a lot of effort, but it just came up short. You would have seen in the other video all of the beautiful promises that were made, and it seemed like it was already done in the island. You know, that people were swimming with pigs because that was really cool on Instagram at the time. So obviously they had to have it in this island. So they were just gonna bring in the pigs and everything, you know. But anyway, when people got there after spending so much money, the influencers, these were the pictures that they got. They could go viral with these, but that's not what they were looking for, right? So people were stranded. A lawsuit came, many lawsuits after that. But two of the people that went, they got $1.5 million each, including damages. You know, so the flights that they were taking over, people from Miami and such, these little private jets weren't around. They weren't enough, and obviously they didn't have the food from the gourmet chefs that were promised and everything. So the $13,000 VIP packages ended up in those little plastic beds that were still wrapped up. So moving back a little bit, we're just going to talk about what's advertising, right? So today we're doing everything online. It's free for the most part. You can get away with doing it for free. It's just your time and energy, right? So we just had a little image of back in the day, the Tumblr and the Skype and everything, you know. YouTube was just looking out your window. LinkedIn was that Rolodex that people had on business cards. Yeah, people used to print out business cards. So now, who regulates advertising? Back in the day, when people were sending in checks to put advertisements in newspapers, the laws of postal fraud came about because people were sending in little advertisements saying, hey, I'm selling these vacuum cleaners, you know, just send me $50 and it'll be at your house in 10 days or something, right? People would send in the money, cash, money order, and the things would never show up. So that became a federal protected thing, anything in the mail. So today, the FTC still covers this area, and the FDA as well. So you think about this with like cosmetics and drugs, the labeling, the product labeling, and the honesty within that labeling, the things that are required. And the FTC also handles things with influencers. So the video that we weren't able to see, we were gonna see a whole bunch of models, the Kardashians and Jenners of the world. The Kardashians weren't a part of the video, but those types of that high level marketing, those people are covered under this too. So as I said, with the FDA, things like ABC sunscreen reduces the risk of skin cancer. Now, that's a pretty mighty claim. It might not seem so mighty because it just says that it reduces the risk of skin cancer. And of course, any block is going to reduce the risk, but even that is going to be checked out with the FDA. So people will have to do studies and actually prove the claims that they're making. Then it comes, another thing we won't get into now is green marketing. A lot of things now, it's cool to be eco and green, and a lot of people are making their own certifications within their company and certifying themselves as some type of green label, or saying that something of theirs is made of recycled materials when it's only like 1% made of recycled materials. So those are pretty extreme, and it could also go into unfair competition. So other subjects we'll cover later. Unfair competition that might be pertinent to you guys right now is false sales. Kind of like if you go into a Marshalls or TJ Maxx and you see the price tag says compare at high price, and then you're only getting it for a certain amount there. That's okay so long as it's real. A lot of companies were actually making lower end clothing and sending it to Marshalls or TJ Maxx and places like that. And if you check the inside of the tag, it was saying where exactly it was manufactured and for what purposes. And some of these Calvin Klein dresses, for example, were never sold at Calvin Klein. So even though they would say compare at $280, they were always meant to be an $18.99 dress for TJ Maxx. So they got in trouble for that. And a lot of places where you go to visit and maybe there's a cruise ship, you'll see a lot of closing sales, and things like this, that you could only get it in this limited time because that's how you get some sales, right? You give them a limited amount of time to get it. It's a good deal. You can't lie about it. So will you be caught? Maybe. Now, with sponsorships, moving back to things like influencers showing your brands. Does this look like an ad to you? If this was just an Instagram ad? I just said ad. Yeah, so JLo just, she posted this and put hashtag Throwback Thursday to my birthday weekend in Vegas, so naturally she's just there with this vodka or something that I had never heard of until here. So great, she introduced this to so many people, but it doesn't seem natural. It looks too cool, and the FCC came at her for it because it was obviously an ad. And this, Kim Kardashian, because that's how you naturally take photos of things, right? And she says, OMG, have you heard about this? As you guys know, my morning sickness, blah, 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 blah. So she talks about these medical pills and she starts making some claims like, if you have morning sickness, it will take it away, this and that. She says a bunch of things that maybe she's not allowed to say because, for one, she's not hashtag sponsored, hashtag had this, disclaimer writing. I don't know why I continued with that sentence when it was not good to begin with. Anyway, she's not telling you that it's a sponsored ad, and she's not allowed to make any claims about the product that the product makers aren't allowed to make. So it gets like pretty sketchy there. Kim Kardashian has been one of the people who break the FTC rules all the time. And sometimes you might see that she could put hashtag SP after her writing, and that's supposed to stand for hashtag sponsored or sponsorship. And the FTC says that that's just not enough. It needs to be really clear, and it can't be hidden in the bottom of hashtags or the bottom of this, because usually this would cut off when people are looking through it. Consumers are getting so smart about these things nowadays anyway that when they see a picture like this, they know it's an ad. But sometimes it gets a little more unclear, like this Louisiana kitchen pizza. Is it natural? I mean, you see these Hermes Birkin bags too, and these are, that one is like 12,000 and up. This one is an animal skin, so maybe 50,000 and up. So I don't think Hermes is really paying them for this, but they're just like tying this to this. So it's like trying to raise the quality or the type of people who would be using this type of food or something. It just kind of seems like an ad, right? They're on their private jet. They got in trouble for that one. And this one is Sofia Vergara on Modern Family. She was on the set. She was wearing this jewelry. It wasn't clear whether the jewelry was sent to Sofia Vergara or it was sent for her character, or if the person who styled her for the episode was the one who chose it. And the FTC also said, like, hey, you need to let us know because we need to know when there's any type of relationship and why you're posting it. We we can't let the consumers just figure it out by themselves. And again, posing with an item. This is Vanessa Hudgens posing with My Little Pony for like My Little Pony Day or something. And she hashtagged My Little Pony's Friendship is Magic hashtag that they were using for some campaign. But she didn't say that it was a sponsored ad, and she got in trouble for this one too. And lastly, I think Victoria Beckham, she was posting about her friend, and she puts my friend had this cosmetics company or whatever, and she was just, posting, bigging up her friend, and she got in trouble for this one because it just wasn't clear enough. And who knows, maybe her friend just didn't know that she was going to be posting it, that's really her friend. Some other influencers will get free items, just to try, and then they think that they don't have to put that as a sponsorship or any type of relationship because they're like, hey, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't post it, but you're getting the material sent to you so that hopefully you're posting it because you like it. Whether or not they get paid in actual payment or in kind, it needs to be clear. Now, what happens if you get caught, right? Are there sanctions? Yes. And depending on how much money the company has, the sanctions can be even bigger. And let's say ocean spray. I don't know if you've seen those commercials when they're like, hey, there's no sugar in this, and anyone not seen the commercials? Yeah. So Ocean Spray got in trouble because they did have sugar and they had to clean up their image afterwards. And they had campaigns that were gonna be going on for the next years, and they already had all the payment strategies all out. They had to pay 25% of what they were gonna use on advertisement to correct all of the ads that were problematic before. So you can get civil sanctions and then also have to put a portion of your marketing into corrective advertisement and further disclosures and let people know, hey, I did something that was wrong. Just like the Kardashians again. And they were selling the Skechers that had also some medical claims as well, because it said that they would tone you as you were walking, obviously that's how Kim Kardashian got her. So anyway, a federal judge didn't like that, and they ordered Skechers to pay $40 million to people who bought these toning sneakers. It didn't work. All they did was get them unbalanced and probably like sprained an ankle. And maybe they didn't. I said probably. So comparative advertisement are something that people like to do to show that their product is better or that the other one is inferior to theirs. And that's okay. Sometimes you just can't lie. You have to make it clear, and you can't do things like, I don't know, it gets a little sketchy when you see commercials like, let's say, Colgate versus a Crest or any toothpaste brands, right? And they have them on a panel, and they say 4 out of 5 dentists will suggest my product, whichever one is saying this, and they show that the last dentist who's not suggesting it is really just swatting a fly away, and maybe he got confused, and maybe he hit a buzzer because of a fly or something. That just gets in the little gray area where you don't want to do that. You just want to be super clear and truthful and honest with all your advertisements. So you can do blind taste tests and put it on there, or I don't know, an ad. So going a little into more privacy, digital privacy, as we were talking about earlier, like with the ADA. California, there's the CalOPA rules and guidelines. They're the strongest ones that came out of any state, saying that if you have a commercial website, you have to have a privacy policy. You need to let people know what you're collecting, how you're collecting it, how you use it, whether the information will go to third parties, if you plan on contacting them. The privacy policy needs to be either listed on the homepage, or, which is what usually people do, is have a button that just goes to another tab. It just needs to have the word privacy on there. So whether it's privacy policies or privacy and something else, you just need it on there. Another thing with privacy is if you collect telephone number information, that goes a little more than what's on here. You can't use phone numbers without somebody saying that you can use their phone number to text them advertisements, and it needs to be like explicit. They're checking something off. They should be signing something. If you don't do that, you could get in trouble for each one. I think it could be around $500. And if it's a willful, intentional cheat of the system for your advertisements, it could be $1,500 each one. And depending on how many people you're sending a campaign to, it could get worse. I think there was a Jiffy case, Jiffy Lube. They decided, hey, let's just send everyone who's already been our customers 25% off discount or 75% off. It was something really great, So they sent it out to everybody, and it cost them millions almost because they didn't have the permission to use phone numbers for this type of advertisement. And I forgot how exactly they got around that one, but it was a technicality because of the way they collected it. And then after that case, the law became clearer. Then it's like, hey, you need to have it clear that you collected this information and let people know that you were going to use it in a certain way. So copyright and fair use. All right, so let's think about Instagram and Facebook or any social media. If I see a cool image that UC Berkeley Law has posted and I just want to post it myself, I'll post it on my feed and give them credit by saying credit to UC Berkeley. And that's not really giving lawful credit because it's copyright infringement. It's not okay to repost somebody else's image at all because they hold the copyright to it. So let's say right now I'm doing a presentation and someone snaps a picture of me, and then later on I see the picture on social media and I'm like, oh, they got my angle. So then I put it on my Instagram, and then you find out you can sue me because you have the copyright because you took that picture. It doesn't matter that it was of me unless you're trying to make money from my image. Then it, so in an example like that, there's been a lot of models like Gigi Hadid. She's reposted pictures that people have posted of her on the runway, and she was looking good. She couldn't take that picture herself. She gets in trouble for it because somebody else's copyright. So giving credit is not really good. If you're using one of those other apps that have like a retweet or a repost feature, it's a little better because it makes it more clear that you're using someone else's. But if it were me and I'm trying to protect the picture that I took or the image that I made, I could still send you a DMCA takedown, which is a Digital Millennium Copyright Act takedown notice. Yeah.
I have a question. But if you have a waiver for that, and they actually sign the waiver, and you can post a picture, right? They sign the waiver and agree to it?
Yes.
Okay.
So in a situation like this too, let's say I wanted to have a picture of you, of the audience or something, before while you're coming in, I should have you sign some waiver so that I can use you for whatever means I want to, which I don't, so feel free to come in. So with the DMCA takedown notices, this is something that you can draft yourself, and some social media platforms already have it built into their system, so you can just go through the settings and just find a way to complain about your works of original authorship being copied by someone else. So this can be something like your logo as well. If somebody else is using it, you can go to Instagram instead of just arguing back and forth with the person. Tell Instagram, hey, they're using my logo. Here's where I have it, trademarked or where I've used it previously, and then Instagram will go and take it down from their site. Facebook does the same. Google does this as well. You can check with the different providers of website platforms, and they usually have a way to, well, not usually, they have to have a way. So you need to, when you have a website as well, there needs to be something in your privacy policies or terms of use where you show where somebody can contact you if they think that their copyright is being used.
Hey, Desiree, back for a second. It's good. So you see at different businesses have these privacy policies, terms of use, things like that. Now, an exception to the copyright thing here is you can copy those. You can actually take that language and and make sure that you change the name from Instagram to yourself. But once you change the names, you can still use that language because it's legal language. It's like like if we put it up on our website, really great legal language, we can't say, well, you can't use it because it's our great legal language. No, courts treat that as we want the best legal language to be out there. So that's one of the exceptions to it.
So we can copy and paste that to our website, and we're totally
change
covered.
names. Change the
Yeah,
names.
change the name.
But yes.
And so long as it's honest, like with the privacy policies, like
Yes.
you need to say how you're using it and how you're collecting it. And you might think, hey, I'm not using that at all, But if you have some type of, like Google will show you the stats of your page and will let you know where people are visiting you from, what keywords they search to get there, their IP addresses. They'll have like demographic data available. That's still collecting private information from visitors of your website. So you need to post that as well. But yes, the privacy policies and terms, you can take the language from other people and just make sure it's honest and real and has your company name on it, and you can use it. Because imagine if somebody was able to just draw up some great terms and then nobody else could use it. They would get a monopoly on the great terms of use or service.
And you can get that language from us, of course.
Yes. And running contests, sweepstakes, and lotteries. A lot of influencers like to run contests to get popular on social media, right? So they might do a giveaway. I get a pair of shoes, I'm gonna give them away, or jewelry, whatever, to somebody. Hey, just repost this on your Instagram and you're entered to win. Like my page and you're entered to win. Go to my YouTube, make a comment, and also go to my website and you're entered. Like once it gets to a higher level, it starts becoming a little too like, ooh, it gets into the gray zone, because to run a lottery, the elements of it is prize, consideration, and chance. Consideration is usually like a payment. So when you buy a lotto ticket or you enter a big bingo game or something, there's a prize, there's the chance that you might win, right? And the consideration there is the money. When you're running a sweepstakes or a contest, it should be less. There should be no consideration. But consideration doesn't always have to just be money. Like I was saying, if a blogger is running a contest on their social media and they're asking people to go on different websites in order to enter and actually do something like write, hey, what did you like best about this blog post? You know, what resonated with you? And people have to actually like do something. It can be taken to court, and the judge will figure out if that time that they spent doing the things that were required of the contest ended up being like a consideration, you know? So in lieu of an actual monetary payment, their time and energy spent reading a boring blog post could be consideration. So you want to be a little, with a nonprofit, you might be able to run more of a lottery in the sense of a bingo or that type of like game night, but it needs to be cleared with the state beforehand, because that's how states make a lot of money. So it's heavily regulated, more so than the FCC. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can ask them now, or you can also contact us afterwards. And that's it.